This is the best workshop. This is the best. Yeah. I don't know what the rest of them are talking about. So, I'm Bertha Lewis, the Notorious. And if I had known that this little thing called social justice, which I thought was self-evident, was going to last my entire lifetime, I don't know. I might have rethought a lot of things. You know, I started out in the theater. I was going to do musicals to change the world. And then I got to the South Bronx and everything changed. But we wanted, you know, I really wanted to talk to folks about like 4 different things, you know. The main theme here is organizing. And, you know, we love, you know, I remember in the beginning, how many people are organizers, how many people have done research, how many people do this. Organizers wind up doing all of that. Right. Yeah. All of that. Right. And the slogging, hard work of door to door, right. Phoneless to phoneless, yeah. Organizers math, make 100 calls, get 30 yeses, and get 10 to turn out. Right. If you've confirmed them 3 times. But it is key. Yep. It is key, it is key, and there are no shortcuts. Right. In my years, I came to organizing organically. Like I say, you know, I was down in the village with my fabulous little olive bread right there. I was supposed to succeed Cecily Tyson and all like that. Then my neighbor called me on the phone and she said, Bertha, you know, because I'd moved into this crazy building in the South Bronx and we were urban homesteaders. And she called me up and she said, Bertha, there are men here with guns. You've got to come home right now. I left the theater, and I know it sounds dramatically, but literally never went back. Because I had to fight for my own house. 4-hour tenant meetings. Excruciating. But I became this sort of organic. I didn't know a damn thing about Mr. Olinsky or who he was or any of that. I knew nothing. I knew nothing about that. But let me, you know, people know, you know, that I came to New York Acorn and became head organizer, then executive director, and then wound up being the CEO of Acorn. And I'm, you know, like, Jesus, why? You know, but I'm glad, because it was, you know, you gotta have faith. The Lord puts you in places where you're supposed to be, at the time that you're supposed to be there. I want to talk a little bit about, you know, all these 4 things. What worked for us? What works is when you get down and dirty and people understand. It's like the transportation piece and the environmental piece. They can smell it, they can hear it. One of the first little campaigns that I was involved in New York was parade grounds. It was a playground campaign. You know, stop signs, potholes, playground. Clean up the playground. And it was, you know, I was thinking about Acorn members, low and moderate income folks. But as it turned out, the soccer field had all kind of potholes and divots and everything. And here it was that my first thrill, I put together this coalition throughout Brooklyn and some people from Manhattan. Well, all of these soccer moms were with Acorn members. And not only did we get the playground cleaned up, they got to know each other, and the whole parade grounds got totally renovated. Totally renovated. And it was renovated not only for little white kids playing soccer, but for Caribbean residents that lived there. And So that was the first thing that worked. And then, you know, my next big came out, I remember, fighting when Giuliani was just going out, fighting the privatization of public schools. The Edison Corporation wanted to come in, and Giuliani wanted to give them 100 schools, just like that. But what they didn't count on was, they thought they were cute. They were going to have the parents of the failing schools vote for their future. And Edison came in with laptops and all kind of fancy meals and trips, and they moved right up into school, and we sued them. And said, if Edison is up in there, Bertha May gonna be up in there too. And they had to take a vote. And we won. Why? Because we ran it like an electoral campaign. Because they could vote electronically, and we organized people to show up at the school, show up at the poll. We had some dirty tricks. Edison had a lot of money, so we told the brothers that they was hiring. You don't want to get that money, but you pass out our lip. They did. For many years, you know, you don't get to be an organization after 40 years that is responsible for 25% of voter registration in this country. And we perfected that.
Yeah, thank you.
Because we knocked on the doors and we went in the public housing projects and we went into crack houses. We went everywhere. Right. Because we left no person untouched. If you was doing your laundry, we would annoy you. If you were shopping, we would annoy you. If you was having sex, we was up in your window talking. But what we did was to register people around an issue. And that issue was minimum wage. Over 10 years, and it's a long fight, over 10 years, state by state by state, people will turn out to the polls, because the other thing is we didn't do as the Democrats always did. Not to cast aspersions, but the truth is of life. We didn't register people and then put some things in a box and let them catch dust, and then the next cycle, oh, we got to register people. We databased them, we contacted them, we moved them, we found out what they cared about, and we organized them. And that led to 2004 registering over 1.1 million people in Florida. George Bush won Florida, but the minimum wage referendum won too, and people couldn't understand it. That brought us to the attention of the cutest little baby Huey looking guy, Karl Rove, who said, enough of them, enough of these nuts. And his emails prove it. They came after us with a vengeance.